We had one more that came in, that Regina.
Well, actually, okay, let's see. You also had on pay, well, Taurus Gidry appeared as well. He's outside. I told him to have a seat in the hall. I see we may have Mr. Bussey on Zoom. What you call Milton Brown?
Yeah, this is a motion to withdraw.
Yeah, I have it.
You have it from, okay.
Milton Brown.
Won't you, this is cause number 325146, the case of style of state of Texas versus Milton Brown Jr. We have Mr. Brown. Is that your full name, Milton Brown Jr.?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Brown?
I'm okay, sir.
You doing okay? Okay, Mr. Brown, you're here with your attorney, Mr. Attorney Don Dusler. Attorney Dusler, how you doing?
Fine, thank you.
That's good. Now, Mr. Brown, I have before me a motion, amended motion to withdraw as attorney. This is a motion that was filed by your attorney. Have you received a copy of it?
I've gone over it with him, Judge.
You just kind of told me just now.
Okay, do you, so you went over the motion with you?
I went over it
Just
with him.
told me that that's what he was.
Okay, so basically he's following a motion to withdraw as your attorney. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, do you have any objections to Mr. Dusler withdrawing as your attorney?
No, sir.
Okay, now, let's see. This was this an appointed case?
Yes, sir.
It was? Okay. Okay, Ms. Dusler, I'm signing the motion to withdraw, what's the date, the 14th of July, 2021. Okay, so this motion has been granted. And so Mr. Dusler is no longer your attorney. So you'll be released from his case.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, Mr. Brown, could you pull up his, do we have a affidavit of injury or anything like that on file?
No. Oh, wait, yes, yes.
Oh, this is the old one.
Mhm.
Okay. Let me do this. Mr. Okay, Ms. Bailey. Could you please hand him it should be a document that says judge's explanation of rights to defendants without attorney. Looks like that. That's the document.
This right here, right?
Yes. Could you hand that to him?
Yes.
Now, Mr. Brown, you've just been handed a document that is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without an Attorney. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and that's the document that you have in your hand, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
On the table. Now, I will go over this document with you. Any reason? As a defendant in a criminal case, you have three options. Number one, you may hire an attorney. Do you understand that option?
Yes, sir.
Number two, if you do not have enough money to hire an attorney, you may request an attorney be appointed to represent you. Do you understand that option?
Yes, sir.
Number three, you may represent yourself. Do you understand that option?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you want an attorney to represent you and have enough money to hire an attorney, the case will be reset to give you time to do so. If you want an attorney and do not have the money to hire one, you will need to fill out a financial questionnaire so that the proper person can determine whether or not to appoint an attorney to represent you. You may not speak to the prosecutor about your case unless you sign a written waiver of your right to be represented by an attorney. Be aware that there are dangers to self-representation. Waiving your right to an attorney and representing yourself may result in a worse outcome for you and your case, including the loss of significant legal rights and opportunities relating to military service, possession of a firearm, housing and public benefits, child custody, immigration status for non-citizens, and employment. If you choose to proceed without an attorney, you may change your mind at any time and may request counsel from the court. At the bottom of this document, it states defendant's choice. Mark initials next to only one choice. If your choice is, I want to reset this case to hire my own attorney, then you will place your initials on the first line to the left. If you've already hired an attorney, then you will place your initials on the second line to the left and the name of the attorney on the line to the right. If your choice is, I want to apply for court-appointed counsel, then you'll place your initials on the third line to the left. The fourth option is, we can skip that because you have not been appointed a court-appointed attorney. And the fifth option is, I want to reset my case, I want to waive my right to an attorney and represent myself. If that's your desire, then you'll put your initials on the fifth line to the left. Now, Mr. Brown, do you have a pen? Okay. Make a selection on one of the five options, and once you make a selection on one of the five options, then you will sign on the line where it says defendant, and you'll place today's date, July 14th, 2021 on the line that says date. I'll still use this if it's still the same. Yes, I see that. Okay.
Can I say this?
Just hand it to her. I'll take a look at that right quick. Now, you'd like to apply for court-appointed attorney, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, what I can do, I see that back in February of 2020, you filled out a financial affidavit. Let me show this to you. Why don't you hand this to her? Is that a document that you signed, that financial affidavit? You recognize that affidavit? Okay, now, is everything on that document is everything still the same, or there have been some changes?
I'm still at the same place, still with the same company.
You say you work for the same company?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You still make the same amount of money?
Yes, sir.
Okay, on that document, it didn't have, let me see, did it have his bills? They said a picture ID, rent a week from landlord, current credit card, unit credit card statements, medical bills turned over to the, okay. Defendant employed on 10.75 an hour. All W-2s, 2 years. Oh, no, garnish. On check stubs. Okay, so you make about 10.75. Is that-
Not gonna raise from that one?
Oh, so it changed?
Yeah, it's 12.60 now.
Okay, let me fill out that financial questionnaire. There's a financial questionnaire there. You can fill that out so we can get your current information.
Another one
It,
of that?
yes. Affidavit of indigency. And you can have a seat at that table. And once you finish filling it out, we'll call you back up. That table right there on the end. You have a copy of it? Let me do this here before we get started. This is cause number 328000. The case is styled as State of Texas versus Peyton Raleigh Hall. Mr. Hall, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Hall?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Hall,
Yes, sir.
the information alleges, well, first of all, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Hall, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir. I do.
You may put your hand down. Mr. Hall, the information alleges that on or about September 12th of 2020, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed a Class A misdemeanor offense of criminal trespass. Mr. Hall, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to discharge, Mr. Hall, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
Okay, and are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
I don't wish to fight or contest.
All right. Now, Mr. Hall, I have before me a document that is titled the misdemeanor plea admonishments. Also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Do you recognize this document? You have to speak up.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, on the second page of this document, Mr. Hall, are these your initials?
Yes, sir.
And on the third page of this document, above the line that's titled defendant, is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document, which is the trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes,
Mr. Hall, is that your signature above the line that is titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
There are two boxes that's checked at the top of this document. The first box states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box states that you're waiving, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you have the discovery certification? And Mr. Hall, I have before me a document that is titled the discovery certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature above the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Hall, prior to signing and initialing these documents, did your attorney, Mr. West, go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1, misdemeanor plea admonishments. Would you like to offer State's Exhibit Number 1?
Yes, Your Honor, and additionally, the state would like to offer State's Exhibit Number 2, which is the probable cause affidavit.
Do you have any objections to State's Exhibits 1 and 2?
No objection, Your Honor.
No objection. State's Exhibit Number 1 and 2 will be admitted. Mr. West, you've advised and counseled Mr. Hall. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Hall, your attorney, Mr. West, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hall, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea of no contest and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, did we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is that agreement?
The agreement is 6 months deferred probation, a $300 fine, and 30 hours community service.
Mr. Hall, the state is offering that you serve, you say 6 months?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, it looks like 8 months on this here document. Is that correct?
That's what it looked like on the pad.
Oh, that might be my bad handwriting there.
Should be 6 months.
Should be
yes.
6 months now.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay, we're gonna have to redo it because that's gonna adjust the amount that he has to pay. Just hold on a few minutes. I thought something was wrong with my eyes. Yeah. Okay. Now, Mr. Hall, the state is offering that you serve 6 months deferred adjudicated probation. During the 6 months deferred adjudicated probation period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $300 plus court costs of $292. The total fine and court cost is $592. You'll also be required to pay $60 each month in probation fee, $50 each month for your analysis fee, and your total monthly installments comes to a total of $95 each month. Mr. Hall, would you be able to pay the $95 each month?
Yes, sir.
You'll also be required to perform 30 hours of community service and adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of probation. Mr. Hall, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hall, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Hall, if you successfully complete the probationary period, this case will be dismissed It would not appear on your record as a conviction, and you may qualify for non. And you can talk to your attorney, Mr. West, about the non-disclosure. He's quite competent in those matters. Now, Mr. Hull, you're gonna stand on the X next to your attorney and follow the directions of our clerk. And once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day. And Mr. West, is this your only case?
I have two more, Your Honor.
Okay.
One is Mamie Guillory. She's actually out in the hallway, and we're gonna keep her on the trial docket. and
Okay.
do request a trial.
I'll call Mamie Guillory. What we'll do is,
I'm guessing you'll have-
this is cause number 324-911. The case is styled the state of Texas versus Mamie Lee Guillory. Is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Ms. Guillory?
All right, and you?
Oh, I'm doing fine. Ms. Guillory, see if she has some bond condition. Okay, Ms. Guillory, you're represented by your attorney, Mr. John West. Mr. West, what's your announcement in Ms. Guillory's case?
Keep it on the trial docket, Your Honor. We
You
still.
gonna put it on the trial docket? Okay. Give us a trial date. Try to,
There's no bond condition.
okay.
Trial date, October 14th.
Could you, we don't have no dates sooner? Because we don't, make sure we start putting them all on Mondays. Because we don't have to worry about the number on the docket.
And that's when we do August 23rd.
Is that,
Let me make sure I don't have anything too crazy on that date.
Yeah, August 16th.
I just got stuck here and I'm the 252nd today, so I'm gonna be here on the 23rd.
23rd?
I'll be here. Yeah.
Okay,
I got stuff in house court already.
yeah. So your case is gonna be reset for August the 23rd. Okay, now, Miss Guillory, I need to give you some. Okay. Okay, we're gonna give you, wow, computer's starting to act up a little bit. I might have to get you to print off the, for some reason, I may have to get you to print off the PC. This thing is here is, oh, here we go. It just popped up. Okay.
Let's do this. Yes.
Okay. You're right. You can get us to your client. Okay. Ms. Guillory, the document that's been handed out to you is titled Standard Bond Conditions in County Court Law Number 2. I will go over these conditions with you.
Okay.
And it reads, following the arrest and/or accusation in County Court Law Number 2 of Jefferson County, Texas, all bail bonds executed for release of any defendant named herein are ordered subject to the following additional conditions. Number 1, the defendant shall commit no offense against the laws of this state, any other state, or of the United States. Do you understand that condition?
Yes.
Condition number 2, the defendant shall submit to testing for drugs and alcohol at any time as directed by the court. The court may revoke the bond and order the arrest of any defendant who A, refuses to submit to a test for drugs and alcohol when directed to do so by the court, or B, submit to a test for drugs and alcohol and the test indicates the presence of drugs and alcohol in the defendant's body. And that's pursuant to the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 17.44, Section A2 and Section C2. Do you understand that condition?
Yes.
And condition number 3, the defendant shall not communicate either directly or indirectly with the alleged victim of the pending offense, and the defendant shall not go near any residence, school, or other location frequented by the alleged victim, Jessica Leanne Ivy. Do you understand that condition?
Yes.
Now, condition number 4 only applies in a DWI case. Your case is not a DWI, so that does not apply to you.
Okay.
Ms. Guillory,
Uh-huh.
if you fail to, well, if you violate any one of these conditions of the bond, your bond can be revoked and you can be placed in the Jefferson County Jail. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right. Now, Ms. Guillory, your case is being reset for trial. And what is that date again? Is it August 23rd? That date is August the 23rd. Stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman.
Okay.
Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay? Is that your last?
I have one more, he didn't show up, so
Okay.
but I'll be right back in to
Okay.
make sure we're good. Take off that first.
Where did Mr. Okay, the person on Zoom that's identified as iPhone, would you please state your full name? Okay, you need to take your mic off of mute.
Are you referring to me, Judge?
No, yours, you, Mr. Jaworski, I can see your name.
Okay, good. Thank you.
The other lady should be Katie Jefferson, Your Honor. She probably has her phone on mute.
You say Katie Jefferson?
Yes, Your Honor. I asked her to put her microphone on mute, so she might just be struggling to get that thing off mute.
Oh, okay, that's Jefferson, okay. You can put it back on mute. Your attorney said your name is Katie Jefferson.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
I just saw it up there, Your Honor, so I figured that's who you were talking about.
Jefferson. Okay. Okay. Jefferson. Okay, let's see. We got Bussy. Is okay. Let's do that. We're on the record. This is cause number 321437-2. The case is styled the state of Texas versus Charles Raymond Bussy Jr. We have Mr. Bussy appearing via Zoom, and Mr. Bussy is represented by attorney John Jaworski, who
That's
is
correct.
also appearing via Zoom. Mr. Bussy, how are you doing?
I'm all right, sir.
Okay, and Mr. Jaworski, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, Judge.
That's good. Now, Mr. Jaworski, Mr. Bussy's case is on the court's announcement docket. Do you have an announcement you'd like to make in Mr. Bussy's case?
Yes, Judge, we're not ready. I sent several discovery requests throughout the year to the state to look at their file. And I just recently was contacted by the attorney that's handling it. And she just last week granted me access, which I haven't gotten yet, to the state's file on the case.
Okay,
So I just need a short reset because I'm pretty familiar with everything, but I just want to see what the state has. So if we could do a short 30-day reset, I can get up to snuff and tell you that I'm ready or not ready to go to trial on this or work out an agreement.
okay.
They made
Could
an
you-
offer to me also that I haven't had a chance to relay to my client, but I indicated to the state that I would have to look at their evidence first before I talk to him about any kind of plea bargain.
Okay. Okay, your case is gonna be reset till September the 8th of 2021. We will continue your reset. And Mr. Bussy, you can just stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman. Your reset will be sent to your attorney. Your bondsman will have notice of the reset as well. But anyway, stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman. And Mr. Bussy, thanks for being patient with us this
Yes, sir.
morning. I know you was actually the first person on Zoom before we got started. And so thanks for being patient with us. This will conclude your case and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Your
And
Honor.
You
and
too,
Mr.
sir.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Bussy. Mr. Jaworski, this will conclude your case as well, and you have a blessed day as well.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you, sir. I'm gonna have to stop.
Okay. This is cause number 326338. The case is styled the state of Texas versus Curtis Daniel Johnson. Is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Johnson, would you please raise your right hand? The other hand, Mr. Johnson. Mr. Johnson, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes.
You may put your hand down. How you doing, Mr. Johnson? That's good, Mr. Johnson. You're here represented by your attorney, Mr. William Wilkerson. Mr. Wilkerson, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Judge.
That's good. Now, Mr. Wilkerson, you had filed a motion for a psychological evaluation. And after an informal inquiry by the court granted your motion and ordered Dr. Rapon to conduct a psychiatric exam evaluation. I have a copy of that examination. Now, Mr. Wilkerson, you received a copy of the evaluation?
I have, Your Honor, and I've had an opportunity to review it.
And Mr. Daniel Boyd, have you had an opportunity, have you received and had an opportunity to review it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, before we do anything else, does either party based on this, well, first of all, Mr. Wilkerson, do you request a jury trial in this case, or you were waiving a jury trial?
No, Your Honor, we'll waive. We, had previously, pled this case, executed paperwork on all of it. That's how all of this began, Judge. You requested, during the hearing in which the plea was to be accepted, Mr. Johnson, could not, recall.
Well, he had some hesitancy in responding to questions that was asked.
Yes, Judge.
Right.
He had signed for a no contest plea. He said guilty during the hearing, and then after a lengthy discussion, had trouble answering some questions, which gave rise to this request for an evaluation.
Okay.
And so we're here today, the evaluation having been completed and Dr. Grapon's findings before the court. And so
Let me ask you this. Well, have you had an opportunity to review the psychological evaluation?
yes, Your
Do you
Honor,
have any objections to the findings, conclusions, and recommendations in the evaluation?
I do not, Judge.
And Mr. Boyd, do you have any objections to the findings and conclusions of the recommendation?
No objections, Your Honor.
Okay, so, based on that, the court has also received a copy of Dr. Grapon's evaluation. The court is going to take judicial notice of the finding, conclusions, and recommendations in the evaluation. And there is a finding that Mr. Johnson is competent to stand trial. Now, so what is your announcement in this case? Are you going to go forward with your plea?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, so what he'll do is give you time to get the paperwork.
We need to complete it again.
Yes, because the paperwork, I think when we got to the point, we never did complete the paperwork.
No,
Because
it was all completed before.
No, but I don't think it was saved because no judgment was done.
Understood, Judge.
Right.
We'll complete it again.
Okay.
Okay, my apologies.
Okay, that's fine.
Just have a seat outside. I'll be with you in a second, okay?
Did you get Taurus Guidry? Taurus Guidry? Whose case is that? Oh, it is. Taurus Guidry? That's Mr. Matuska?
Yes, sir.
Where are you going? Okay, is Mr. Matuska available? I see he's on Zoom. Mr. Matuska, are you available? He must be away. Just have a seat in the gallery. One of the chairs that have the white tag on it. Could we get Christopher Goodall?
I have 5 more than that as well.
Yes.
So we-
Oh, you can,
Mr. Goodall is right outside as well.
Yeah.
My clients are present, except for Ms. Jefferson will be present on Zoom, Your Honor.
Yes.
Other than that, the rooms are present right outside the courtroom.
We're on a, okay, this is cause, well, we have 4 cases.
We do, Your Honor.
First case is cause number 320-258. Second case is cause number 320-368. Third case is cause number 324-732. And the fourth case is cause number 324-734. All 4 cases are style of State of Texas versus Christopher Jordan Goodo. We have is Mr. Goodo present in court. Is that your full name, Christopher
Yes.
Jordan Goodo? How you doing, Mr. Goodo?
Good.
That's good. Mr. Goodo, you represented by your attorney, Mr. James Paget. Mr. Paget, how you doing?
Doing well, Your Honor. Good morning.
Good morning. Mr. Paget, you have an announcement that you'd like to make in Mr. Goodo's cases?
Yes, Your Honor. I've been in negotiations with Mr. Boyd here, and if you would give us a plea setting, we have some offers on the file that will dispose of all 4 cases on the next setting.
Give us a plea date.
September 13th.
That's fine.
Okay, the case is gonna be reset to September 13th, 2021. Mr. Goodo, you could get your reset from your attorney. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. And Mr. Paget, I think you need to
Yes,
stand
sir.
on the X and
Yes,
sign for the reset. And we're gonna call in okay, he has a couple of cases. We're gonna call in next 4 people. It's gonna be Kia Johnson and Leslie Perkins.
He's right outside of here.
Alberto Ortega Vargas,
He's right outside as well.
and we have Miss Catherine Jefferson on Zoom. Okay, you can call those 3 in that order.
Your Honor, do you think it's possible if we were to do Miss Jefferson now because she's working?
Okay, that's fine.
If it's possible, Your Honor. She's been bouncing back and forth. And she's under quite a bit of stress.
This is cause number 328-378. The case is style of State of Texas versus Catherine Aura Jefferson. We have Ms. Jefferson appearing via Zoom. Ms. Jefferson, you could take your mic off of mute.
Okay,
Okay, how are you doing, Ms. Jefferson?
fine, thank you.
That's
morning,
good.
Ms. Jefferson.
Ms. Jefferson, you're represented by your attorney, James Paget, who's appearing in court. Mr. Paget, you have an announcement you'd like to make in Ms. Jefferson's case?
Yes, Your Honor. We have received all discovery on the case. Mr. Boyd has now been assigned Ms. Jefferson's case. We've been in negotiations. I have an offer that I think will be acceptable to my client. What I would ask for is just 30 days or so, Your Honor, to sit down with Ms. Jefferson, keep it out of state. And I'm certain that we can work this situation out.
Give us a reset date.
September 8th.
Okay, it's gonna be reset to September 8th of 2021. Ms. Jefferson,
Yes.
your case is reset to September 8th of 2021. Stay in contact with your attorney.
Yes, sir.
This will conclude your case. Thanks for being patient with it. You're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you very much.
Okay, your attorney said he'll contact you later on today.
Okay, thank you.
All right. All right. Okay. Now,
Ms. Johnson, come forward, please.
This is cause number 324788, State of Texas versus Keel Shadell Nair Johnson. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Johnson, how are you doing?
Good.
That's good. Ms. Johnson, you're here with your attorney, Mr. James Padgett. Mr. Padgett, you have an announcement you'd like
Yes,
to
Your
make?
Honor. I was working on this case with the former prosecutor in here. We now have new prosecutors. I've worked out a deal that is going to be more beneficial to my client. So again, if you would allow me some time just to sit down with her in my office, we'll take care of this case on the next setting. It will be a plea for certain.
Give us a,
9/13.
okay, it's gonna be reset to to September 13th of 2021. Ms. Johnson, you get your reset from your attorney. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Yes, sir.
Thank
All
you.
right? You need him to sign?
Yes.
And then we'll get together. Yeah, I'm not going to.
Leslie Perkins. This is cause number 326562. The case is styled the State of Texas versus Leslie Perkins. Is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Perkins?
I'm doing, how about yourself?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Perkins, you're represented by Attorney Padgett. Attorney James Padgett, you have an announcement in Mr.
Yes,
Perkins'
Your
case?
Honor. We've received 3 different offers on this case, and I've received all discovery. If you'll give us, again, a plea setting, I just need some time to sit down with Mr. Perkins, and I have an acceptable offer. I'm quite certain, just knowing what he's going through in his life right now. I just need to relay it to him.
9/13.
Okay, that case is gonna be reset to September 13th of 2021. Mr. Perkins, once you get your reset from your attorney,
Yes, sir.
you'll be free to go. And Mr. Padgett, well, and Mr. Perkins, your case is September 13th of 2021. Mr. Padgett, you can sign your reset.
Yes, sir.
Alberto Ortega Vargas. Now, your full name is Alberto Ortega Vargas?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Ortega Vargas?
Good, right?
You doing good? That's good. Now, Mr. Ortega Vargas, you're represented by Attorney James Padgett. Mr. Padgett, you have an announcement?
Yes, if you could give us that same date on Mr. Vargas, it'll be a plea certain on that date. There'll be no resets. It will be worked out on the next date.
What day was that, September 13th?
Whatever pleases the court.
Okay, that case will be reset to September 13th of 2021. Mr. Vargas, you can get your reset from your attorney. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Okay, and Mr. Padgett, once you get, I guess you sign the final receipt,
Yes,
you'll
sir.
be free to go. And you have a blessed day as well.
You too.
Thank you. Oh, sorry, James.
Yes, who's your case?
Dubon.
Yes, sir.
We're on the record in cause number 327442, State of Texas versus Jeffrey Dubon. We have Mr. Dubon present. Your full name is Jeffrey Dubon? Does he speak Spanish?
Spanish, very little English, Judge. I can translate it. I'm just gonna be asking for a reset, Judge. I can translate it if you need me to.
Okay, now, let me do this here. Mr. Rojas, please raise your right hand. Mr. Rojas, do you swear to translate English to Spanish and Spanish to English?
I do.
Okay, you may. Put your hand down. Mr. Rojas has translated previously. In other cases, he speaks fluent Spanish and English. Now, your full name is Jeffrey Dubon, is that correct?
Yes.
And how are you doing, Mr. Dubon?
Good.
Okay. Now, Mr. Dubon, you're represented by Charles Rojas. And Mr. Rojas, do you have an announcement you'd like to make in Mr. Dubon's
Yes,
case?
sir, Judge. We're just asking for another announcement. Like Mr. Giovanni is paying, making payments to him. He's just about done. I think one more announcement will be able to get him done.
I mean, that's not a reason for a reset. I mean, have you got your discovery?
We've got the discovery. We haven't been able to go over the offer with Mr. Giovanni yet.
Okay. Okay, so you received an offer, you got a discovery from the DA's office. You just haven't went over with your attorney, your client?
With
How much time you need to,
one more announcement, regular reset, I'll do it, Judge.
what's the, September 8th of 2021? September 8th of 2021. Okay, your case will be reset to give you an opportunity to go over your offer with your client. Now, are you setting it on announcement docket, plea docket? Still on announcement docket, okay. Okay, you get your reset and you'll be free to go.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay.
Judge, I also have another one that's, I think he's got a felony case this morning. I don't know if that's been reset yet or not. It's, the last name is Reed, Jordan Reed.
Is he, Reed?
And I think he may be incarcerated. If it stays-
Oh, if he's incarcerated, yeah, the case will normally be reset
Okay.
with the felony. Say Reed,
Jordan Reed, last I heard he was incarcerated. I don't know if it was-
Jackson, Johnson. I don't have a Reed. Oh, bottom of 5?
Was not here?
Oh, no, yeah, no, he's here. Yeah, why don't you go call Jordan Reed?
Mr. Wallace, can I get you to sign this one real quick? September 1st, we're gonna double check. What Mr. Devon, this might be a one-day trade.
This is cause number 329314. Case is style of State of Texas versus Jordan Davion Reed. Is that correct? How you doing, Mr. Reed? That's good. Mr. Reed, you represented by Attorney Charles Rojas. Mr. Rojas, what's your announcement?
Judge, I understand he's got a felony case that's set for September 1st. We would request that this be set along with the felony.
Okay, gonna reset it on the same date. Okay. Could you,
September 1st.
okay, gonna reset it to September 1st. And it's gonna be on the announcement docket.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Okay.
You have to sign this. He doesn't have to.
Where is it? Oh. Is that him right there? Okay. This is cause number 326338. We're back on the record, State of Texas versus Curtis Daniel Johnson. Mr. Johnson is present, and Mr. Johnson is represented by his attorney, Mr. William Wilkerson. Mr. Wilkerson?
Yes, Your Honor. It was brought to my attention, and I didn't remember. Last time, we also had Mr. Johnson evaluated for participation in ATAR ATAC. He has been participating. In
Well, that's was that a condition of bond or something?
No, Judge, it was not. But he has been participating in those services. So I would like to reschedule him, reset him to a Tuesday when they're here regarding that case.
Okay, hold on a minute. Let's see. On Fridays too. Set him for next Tuesday. Setting Curtis Johnson for next Tuesday. Yeah, on the Rayma docket, but he's here. ATAR, not ATAR, but Spindletop is gonna be here on that day. Okay, you can get your reset, Mr. Wilkerson. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go. And Mr. Curtis Johnson, once your attorney give you reset, you'll be free to go. You have a blessed day, and you have a blessed day as well, Mr. Wilkerson.
Thank you, Judge.